Hi, I'm Brian from LuckyStops.com. You guys asked for it, and we have it now. Draw stops for the Realm SR6. So those of you that have used our products before know that our draw stops will not fit on the Bowtech Realm SR6. The Bowtech changed the stops on the SR6, so the current stops that we are making for the other Bowtechs do not fit. We have came up with a couple different designs for that. This particular video, I'll show you both the designs, but this particular video is for installing the A1 stops. We also have an S1 stop, which is, if you want to learn how to install that or anything about it, you can go to a link down below and that'll have the videos for the S1 stop. I'll show you the S1 first, since we're not going to be installing that. The S1 is a slider, and this will give us the maximum adjustment for this bow. It will work from 30 inches to 27 inches, and it's not just an ordinary slider. It has teeth inside of it so that we can make precise adjustments. We can get back to where we were without any hassle. We're not just kind of guessing where this is. So again, this is the S1. If you want to know more about the S1, just look it up in the video or link down below. The other stop that we came out with is the A1, which will look very familiar to some of you guys. The A1 is basically the same thing as the A4. The sizes are the same on it, but it's threaded. It has a boss on the back so that it fits on the cam, and it has a hex in the counter bore so that we can tighten it up. So we'll go over, it's got 4 sides on it. The A1 with 1 dot is the same diameter as your factory stop, but then it has 3 other longer sides. The SR6, word of caution is we never want to long peg the SR6. The bow will lock up if you do that. So whatever the module is on the SR6, this one's at 28, that's where we want to set our stop. So removing the old stop's pretty easy. It's a 3/32 Allen wrench. Just unbolt it. If you ever put the stop back on, there is a side that has a hex on it, and that side always goes towards the cam. Now this is a brand new bow. It's probably been sighted in, and that's about it. And you can already see wear on the rubber of this stop. So I don't know how long these stops are going to last. Those of you who've had Bowtechs before know it's a different material, but you know they don't last forever. So the A1 will come with the bolts. There's a pair, top and the bottom they come, and their bolt goes back into the same hole that we took it out. Again, this is a 28-inch module. We're 28 inches with the bolt. The boss side of the stop goes towards the cam. The letter should always face you, and the dots. Now the dots just indicate sides so that you can record where your stop was if you make a move and get back to it easy. So the less dots, the smaller the diameter. All these sides are centered on the bolt so that this will never want to loosen up on you. If this was a triangle or a flat, if it's not quite right, it's always either going to want to loosen or tighten. These will not want to. It's the same stop on the top and the bottom. And to put it on, obviously you saw me get that far. To line it up, we're going to set this one up at a factory setting. We put a card that will lay from the module on the bottom, and it just needs to lay tangent to the stop. Just get it tight now or it won't rotate. Okay, you see we're in the module groove, and this edge is tangent to the stop, tangent to that radius of the 1 dot side. we take our 9/64 Allen wrench in the front side in that counter bore, and that is going to hold that stop from turning as we tighten it. That's as easy as that. That is set up. We can double check. And yes, this represents our cable. This edge is the same thing as when that cam rolls around and touches this cable. That's what stops the bow. That represents the edge. So that's how we can line these up accurately. We don't have to be exactly in the center of that radius because that radius is centered on that bolt. So we have a little bit of forgiveness this way and that way. So that's set up factory. We would do the bottom one the same. We'd shoot it. We'd decide, do we want to go shorter? This right here is going to give you a little stiffer backside already because we don't have that rubber. I would call it more defined where boom, it hits the backside and it's there. It's not this, it's kind of there, not, well, maybe not. It's definitely there when you hit it. We can only firm it up as much as these cables hold. So if your bus cable, Bowtech's got a lot of poundage on their cables here, so we get a pretty firm wall out of it. Hoyt's not quite as much, so we'll never get as firm of a wall out of a Hoyt as we will a Bowtech. And there's other geometry that makes a difference in there, but the basics of it is that. We want to make an adjustment on this. Let's say we want to go shorter. All we have to do is we loosen the stop up. Let's say I want to go to the 3-dot side. Get it so it's not spinning. We put that card back in the module on the bottom. And line the top up so that it's tangent. Insert our Allen wrench into the top side. Oop. I'm gonna put a little, tighten it down. I will double check that one. Yeah, we're still tangent. And like I said, we don't have to be perfect, but you see how this card represents where this cable is going to touch it. So now that shortened us up. Increased our holding weight. This particular bow, the shorter we go, the holding weight goes up. It's not a jumpy bow. I was real happy with the results testing this and the S1. I'll go over a couple numbers fast after this, but we will get more into that on a tuning video, or I don't necessarily know about tuning, but more what we can do with these stops, or why this is important to have, why half the manufacturers you're able to do this and half of them you're not. So the numbers on this with the stock, I'm gonna go over numbers for 29 inches, 60 pounds with the stock side on the stops. It took 8.26 pounds or 8.3 pounds to roll that cam over to the stops. Now the bow would not start going forward until that poundage dropped down to 6.7 pounds. So there's 1.6 pounds difference in what it takes to get the bow back to the stops or hold it there, and how far you have to how far you're decreasing the weight before the bow takes off and shoots. And this is why some people are afraid to let these bows down, is because your brain says, okay, I already let down, but the thing's not moving forward. We got a problem here. And then it goes into, okay, I'm not moving anymore. The other issue with that is that particular time is all time added to the shot. So that when you release that shot, that it takes longer for that arrow to get out of the bow when you have that leg in there. Now we can get rid of some of that with the A1s. We can run like stock on one side, and we can run 4 on the other side. So we could run the top at a 4 and the bottom at the stock setting. What that did, I'll give you the results of that, was our holding weight went from 8.3 to 9.3 pounds. So it gained a pound, not much, but the weight where it took off, where the bow started to shoot, was at 8.5 pounds. So we cut in half that leg. Now, if you want to get it even less than that, then you can start going into the S1 and you can stick one out even further. The shorter you go, the closer the bigger the effects are going to be with the A1. Again, that was at 60 pounds, 29 inches. The draw length difference, or let's go over if we just set them both at 4. At 4, which is the longest setting on the A1, 29 inches, it increased our holding weight to 11 pounds, and our takeoff weight on that was 10.25. So just by doing that already helped that leg. We can, with the S1s, we can pretty much get it all out, but the A1s basically is your entry into this. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, these are the best bang for your buck. And the A1s work from 30 inches to 27. Now the draw length on it, so if you're just interested in draw length, your holding weight's going to go up proportionately with this bow. There's no linear valley like some of the other bows where we can shorten you up and keep you at the same draw length or holding weight. But with this bow, it really does not get too jumpy. It's not. Even at 11 pounds, the bow is not jumpy. So it actually responded really well to these. So the draw length, if we go all the way at 29 inches and we move the stops to 4, that's going to shorten us up about 1/4 of an inch. That gives you an idea of if you're just looking at draw length on it, and I gave you some numbers on poundage. So it gives you an idea. The effects of it, the shorter you go, so if you're in a 27, this is going to have more power than if it's at the 30. The 30, it's because of, if you look at the distance between the holes here, this moves the cam more at 27 than it does at 30, if that makes any sense to you. So again, that's the the A1. They're available at lucky-stops.com. You can go to our website and check it out. We do have Facebook stuff, and subscribe to this YouTube if you're looking for another bow. I'm going to be doing other videos on the different bows. We got limb stops coming out and a few other ones, and I'll go over some of the ones I have not made videos for on how to adjust them, how to measure a cam up so that we know what stops to use. The SR6 is, it's kind of its own. These two stops only work on the SR6. You can go to your dealer, check them out, see if they have them. If they don't, ask them why not. Have them get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me if you got questions. I do answer my emails. All the contact information is on the website also, lucky-stops.com. And yeah, till then, keep shooting.